Hi, Echo Canyon students. This is Mrs. Rodarte, also known as Mrs. Pickle to some of you. And while you're at home doing your schoolwork, Mr. Pickle and I come by the garden and water and keep everything alive, and we are hoping that we will see you soon. Usually on Fridays, we have a chef in the garden for some classes, and we're going to try to continue to do that for you. But as you know, you are not in the garden anymore, you are at your home. So what we'd like for you to do is go into your cupboard and do a chef in the cupboard or chef in the pantry with us this Friday.
So go look in your pantry and see if you have any kind of pasta in there. And here's Chef Charleen Badman showing you how to cook it.
Hi everybody, I'm Chef Char. You know me from Chef in the Garden. And a lot of times when we're out in the garden and stuff, a lot of the questions I get is, where do I work? So I'm here where I work, and this is actually the restaurant that I co-own. This is F&B, and F&B actually stands for food and beverage. So I'm the food, and then I have a business partner, and he's the beverage. So we're gonna have you come on side into the kitchen. I'll kind of give you a little tour. It's a little quiet, but I'll give you a little tour of the kitchen, and we'll do a little lesson, a little small chef in the pantry is what we're gonna call it. All right, let's go. So here we are in my kitchen, and we're gonna go over each of the stations one by one. This is the first station. So this is the grill and expo station, and also it includes the fry, because there's, you gotta have a lot of stuff going on. You got a lot of moving parts in the kitchen. This is where the tickets come in. We call this this is the rail. And then we have our pass. This is the pass where all the food goes out. And then right here, right in front, front and center is our grill station. So usually it's gonna be full of all this prepped food and everything going on there. And then we have our little grill that's right here, and our fry station for everything that's fried. We have what's called a speed rack, and we put our sheet trays in there, and maybe we have some of our product on there that we're working off of, but this will be that first station. All right, so this is our pantry station, or if you were in France, would be the garde-manger station. So this is the station that does all the cold prep and all the cold dishes, like salads or maybe a pâté. They also do desserts. You would set up the station with all of your, what we call our mise en place, or our prep is in here. Both Martha and Ilana work this station. You would have your lettuces below, and then on this side we usually have our desserts. And then we also have this is our counter where sometimes we do prep off of here because it's that small, but this is our little ice cream freezer where we put all our ice cream in here, scoop it out for our desserts, and then we go on to our prep table. All right, next we have, this is our prep table that we use, and we have prep cooks that work during the day. We're only open for dinner. We only do dinner service at F&B. So this table, by day's time, at 8 o'clock in the morning, has maybe one person here prepping, and he's cooking off the stove and the oven. By night, half this station becomes where we put our mise en place, or our prep for our dinner service. This will be for the pantry station, and the other half is for our sauté station. And then that's where sauté is, right here. So this is our sauté station. Everything's all kind of really nice, cleaned up, really tight. But he would have his mise en place. This is where Drew works. And Drew has all of his mise en place, or all of his prep in here or down below. And then he is working off of the sauté, or doing all of his sautéing, working off the stove or in the oven. Or also what this is called is a salamander. And the heat comes from the top, and then you can adjust up and down for the salamander. And you would put, say, a sauté pan in there, and this heat blasting from the top is heating things up, kind of browning it as well. You can put what's called a sizzle platter in there, or a sauté pan, and heat things up. So that's the sauté station. Next, we have our beautiful Stacy. That's what we named this is our reach-in, because this is what you do. You're reaching in, grabbing what you need, as opposed to, say, a walk-in, where you'd walk in. So you reach in here. This is our single door reach-in. And again, her name is Stacy. She keeps all of our backup product that we have for our stations when we're working. She would keep everything in here so nice and cold, and we keep our backups so that we don't have to walk over to the walk-in, which is in a completely different area, totally another building of the restaurant. And then we have our trusty hand sink. Very, very important to have that hand sink. Very important thing to use. Before we get cooking, like Mr. and Mrs. Pickles say, you have to wash your hands. And it's super important, especially now. Get that hot water going. And we wash our hands. Keep everything nice and clean, including ourselves. And that helps keep everybody else clean and safe. So you give it a nice 20 seconds, whether you sing happy birthday or row your boat or whatever you do. Get everything lathered up, super clean. Between those fingers, get everything over the top and our wrist so we can start working. Make sure that we've taken the time to make sure that we're all sanitary and ready to go. So then we rinse off some warm water. And every kitchen has to have a hand sink. We have to make it easily accessible so that everybody, super important when you're in a kitchen, that you're washing your hands and keeping everything nice and clean. And this sink is specifically for washing our hands. Get them all dry, and then we're gonna be ready to go, get ready to cook. So here's a couple different pasta shapes that are favorites of mine. I love shells, and I'm a huge fan of macaroni. I feel like this is the pasta shape that we all like to use, like little macaronis, little elbows, because they look like our elbow. And then the cavatappi. And cavatappi to me, and this one is it goes by a couple different names, but this one is like a little corkscrew. And one of my favorites, because I like to use this one like in mac and cheese. It's got little ridges and it's got a hole so it can capture a little bit of the little juicy situations. So we're gonna go ahead and set up to cook some pasta. I think we'll use our cavatappi. A couple of things. Please make sure you're doing this with mom and dad. And also part of the reason we're doing this too is that maybe you can help out mom and dad if maybe they're still working and they're not at home, but you could help out mom and dad, whether opening up the pasta bag and not getting it all over the floor. But also maybe just a couple of tricks that we have with helping them cook. It's really important too, you have instructions on the back. It'll tell you how long to cook because everybody's pasta is different. This is a dry pasta, so it's usually like 10 to 12 minutes. And what we're gonna do when we cook the pasta is we're going to cook it till it's al dente, which means like to the tooth. And what we'll do is we'll open up a piece so you kind of see. You don't want it cooked all the way through like mushy. You want it to still have a little bit of a bite to it, a little bit like tooth thumb, if you will. That's like the idea. And one of the reasons we're also going to be cooking pasta is because we usually can find something like pasta pretty easily. It's probably in your pantry or maybe like one of those cupboards that mom and dad have, grandma has. You should be able to find a bag of pasta. And you might not necessarily want to cook the whole thing because these usually come in like 1 pound bags. But you want to go ahead and cook like what you're going to eat. Maybe it's half if it's like maybe 3 or 4 of you. And maybe you want to cook the whole thing and you can do it for a different meal. It just kind of depends. So let's go ahead and get cooking our pasta and then we'll kind of talk about it from there. So here we have our pasta water. And one of the things that's really important, you want to get plenty of salt in that pasta water. And this is something I probably have mom or dad help out with, just to be sure, but we want to get our pasta water going. And then we have a little basket. You can also just do it in the container and pour it into what's called a colander. Something that's really important too is we don't want to really stop the water. We want to keep it going. Let's go ahead and get our pasta in there. And again, we're using a dried one. So this is going to take about 10 to 12 minutes. And it's going to expand, so we don't want to put too much in there either. So I think that's probably a good amount. Our water's still kind of going. It's going to start bubbling up again. We'll keep giving it a stir so it doesn't stick. I don't usually like to put oil in here because then the oil gets onto the pasta and then it makes it hard for like the sauce to actually stick to it. I like to cook what I want. We're going to add like a little bit of butter to it, and then we're going to add some cheese to it, and we'll be ready to eat. Kind of giving that a stir. Make sure it's not sticking. staying loose, plenty of room. All right, we're ready to take our pasta out. It's been about 10 minutes. Couple of things. Please make sure, again, you're doing this with mom and dad because we're working on the stove here. I like to make sure I'm always touching anything that's near the stove with either like a towel or a hot mitt or whatever, but you got your beautiful pasta right there. And shake off that pasta. All right. This is some beautiful liquid here though. So we're gonna add a couple little spoonfuls. This will help kind of make our sauce. Keep in mind also there's some salt in here. So we'll probably not add any salt until we actually give it a taste. And then we'll take it back over and add our little bits to it. All right, we have our pasta. We just took it out of the water. Take one piece out of there, kind of break it in half. Kind of take a look at it. It's got a nice, you can see it's cooked all the way through, but still nice and firm. Definitely has some chew to it. So we're ready to go ahead and get our pasta working. I'm gonna wash my hands though, because I just put food into my mouth. Okay, we now have our pasta, gave it a little taste, wash my hands again. We're gonna add a little nub of butter. This is quite a bit. This will feed like 4 to 6 people. So you're gonna be like, did she just add all of that butter? But we're making like a little saucy situation. Kind of wanna get it down there where it's nice and hot down there. We got a little bit of our pasta water in there. We'll kind of give that a stir. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper. I like pepper, so that may have seemed like a hot. At this point, you could add like a little warm sauce on top. So letting that butter kind of get all melty. Also, while it's hot, I like to add a little bit of cheese. So we're gonna take some Parmesan. This is just some little fresh grated Parmesan. We're gonna put that on top because that'll kind of melt in there and make part of the sauce that we're looking to make. And I know some of you like a little spice, so I have a few little chili flakes. Look how that butter knob is kind of breaking up there, melting. We got our cheese on there. And I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more of that pasta water because that pasta water has the starch that was in the pasta, and it actually will help kind of thicken it a little bit and make it still a little bit nice and saucy for us. So let's add a little bit of that pasta water back. And you see how like nice and cheesy and that pepper and that butter's all glazy. A little bit, a couple more spoonfuls of that pasta water. It's kind of making it nice and saucy, sticking to it. All right, let's take it back. We're gonna get plated. We're ready to go ahead and plate this up. And again, this is just like super simple, little cheesy business, little butter, little black pepper. I didn't really add too much salt because we already had some in the water. I like to add a little chili flake. Not too crazy, you better taste it before you go too crazy. And maybe you don't like spicy, so you're not gonna wanna add that. We're gonna add, I have some chives in my garden, so I was just gonna show you, and I know we've done a few of these in like Chef in the Garden where we cut herbs. We're gonna use our scissors. I think it's fun to be able to cut with a pair of scissors, but maybe you have some parsley. Maybe you have some little basil. Basil should be coming back in the garden. Maybe you just get something from the store. Chives are pretty easy to find in the store. Parsley is pretty easy to find in the store. Maybe you don't want anything green on there at all. But make sure the scissors are, first of all, clean. That'd be important. Mom or dad didn't just cut something that you don't want to have on your chives. And then I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more cheese because that can't hurt. All right, so you have like your cheese on top, your little bit of herbage, if you want, that chili flake, and I think this looks pretty tasty. I have this beautiful pasta, and just a couple of things to think about though. If you didn't like, the idea of maybe cheese and butter, maybe you want to do some tomatoes, maybe a tomato sauce, maybe even some pesto. I mean, I would look around in the refrigerator or even the freezer if you had like mom and dad or grandma and grandpa have like some frozen peas or something like that. You could toss in a vegetable like a frozen pea, some broccoli, but also some maybe vegetables that are in the fridge like a green bean or something like that, whatever you're up to. And tomato sauce is one of my favorites. I love the fresh tomato sauce. All right, so you're not going to guess who is going to be able to try this, but other than Mr. Pickle. Hey, Mr. Pickle.
Oh, thanks, Charleen. I've been waiting to taste this. Hi, kids. Oh, good. Oops. Gotta get ready. Okay.
I
Good.
can't wait to see what Mr. Pickle thinks.
Wait, Mr. Pickle's going in. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's got that right chew to it. Kids, I hope you can make this at home. Good luck. This is good.